These are 10 things that you didn't know about Jude Bellingham, like the schools he paid for in Kenya at just 16 years old, or the time he beefed with the referee so bad that he got fined $40,000. But first up, I gotta tell you the reason that Bellingham is statistically a better player than Cristiano Ronaldo. You see, 14 years ago when the GOAT signed for Real Madrid, he had the best start in the club's history, bagging 7 goals in his first 8 league games. So when Jude Bellingham completed his $100 million move to the club, nobody expected him to have even close to a start as good as Ronaldo. Everyone thought he was going to need time to adjust because he was only 19, not like Ronaldo who was 24 and already the best player in the world. But Bellingham turned up and proved everyone wrong. Man bagged 8 goals in his first 8 league games, edging out Ronaldo and smashing his 14-year-old record. I mean, Bellingham really has been on fire, bagging goal after goal in both the league and the Champions League. His start was so good, he even got voted the La Liga Player of the Month in his first month at the club. But we should have seen this coming. I mean, his father was one of the greatest goal scorers in football history, bagging over 700 goals throughout his career. That's more goals than Neymar, Suarez, and even Diego Maradona. But the thing is, these goals were actually in non-league football, so maybe he might not have been quite at the level of the Argentinian icon. But still, Mark Bellingham was lethal in front of goal, and it's no surprise he raised 2 children with football in their blood because Joe Bellingham, Jude's younger brother, has been following in his big bro's footsteps as he became the second youngest player to ever play for Birmingham City after his big bro Jude, who was the first. And now after his big move to Sunderland, he's been making headlines as he's been lighting up the championship at just 18 years old. Man, these Bellinghams really know how to ball, and that's because they have a footballing secret that prevents them from getting injured. You see, Bellingham's a big guy. He's 6'1", has got big legs and a massive calves. He's got massive calves. And players with big calves end up with a lot of tension in that area, which can cause some serious injury problems. But Bellingham doesn't have time to get injured. He's busy chasing down more records, so man found the perfect solution. Before every match, he gets a pair of scissors and cuts holes in his socks. These holes are said to relieve the tension from his hard, throbbing calves and allow him to play injury-free. And it's important that he stays injury-free if he ever wants to get to the same level as his footballing idols. Because growing up, Jude idolized Steven Gerrard and Wayne Rooney and dreamed of one day getting to meet his heroes. He studied everything about the way they play and actually got the chance to share the pitch with Rooney when he was still playing for Birmingham, leaving him with a memorable impression. But now you have to hear about the schools Bellingham has been building in Kenya since he was 16. At 16 years old, Bellingham had just signed his first senior team contract with Birmingham City, meaning he would take home $150 per week. Now, that's nothing compared to the $21 million a year he's making now, but for a 16-year-old, that's enough to make you feel like a king. Most teenagers would blow it on some sneakers or video games, but not Jude. Bellingham decided to get involved with the Mustard Seed Project, which is an organization that helps build schools in Kenya. As you can imagine, when Bellingham moved to Dortmund and got a crazy increase in salary, his donations got bigger and bigger. He's literally funding the construction of new classrooms for children to be able to receive an education. Man, he's really got a heart of gold and also some magical feet because Bellingham can't stop breaking records. Every week there's a new headline with a new broken record. It's just getting ridiculous now. He became the youngest player to ever play for Birmingham City, the most expensive 17-year-old in history with his move to Dortmund. Then, he became the youngest player ever to score for Dortmund, the youngest English player to play and score in the Champions League, and became the teenager with the most goals in the competition. He became the 3rd youngest captain in Champions League history. Then, with his move to Real Madrid, he became their most expensive signing of all time, the first English player to win a La Liga Player of the Month, and he has the best goal-scoring start in Real Madrid history. not to mention his records for England, where he is the youngest player to play for the under-21 squad and the youngest player ever to play in the European Championships. Man is really on another level. No wonder Birmingham City retired his number when he left the club. They knew he was going to rocket right to the top, but what's crazy is the story of how Bellingham actually got his kit number. His coaches thought he was well-rounded on the pitch, that handing him the standard number 10 wouldn't represent his ability. They told him he could play as a 4, an 8, and a 10, so adding them all up, they arrived at the number 22, which is what Bellingham wore until he signed for Real Madrid, where he took the iconic number 5 jersey, which was once the number of Zinedine Zidane, as Bellingham hopes to follow in the Frenchman's footsteps.
I've said in many interviews how much I admire Zinedine Zidane, the legacy he has in the club, and with this number, I'm not trying to be the same as him, I'm just trying to be Jude, but it's definitely a bit of homage to how great he was.
But now take a look at the time Bellingham had his first ever beer, and it was in the middle of a game? Back in 2021, Dortmund were losing against Bayer Leverkusen and managed to seal a dramatic comeback in the 80th minute. During the celebrations, the fans started to throw stuff onto the pitch. Bellingham was feeling thirsty, so he showed some world-class reflexes, caught the cup, and took a sip mid-match. He claims it was his first beer and that he wasn't a fan of the drink, but we're pretty sure it won't be his last one. But now it's time to tell you about Bellingham's beef with a multi-billion-dollar company, because man was not happy with his new EAFC ratings this year. When Bellingham got shown his stats for this year's game, he was fuming, calling EA Sports out for giving him such low ratings.
Dude, what do you think you have on pass?
83.
79.
You're joking.
Yeah, man.
I've got camera. Shocking, shocking, shocking.
They are shocking indeed. Now, beefing with the video game is one thing, but you have to hear about the time Bellingham beefed with the referees so badly, he got fined 40 grand. It was an intense game between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. The two German giants were 1 point off each other at the top of the table, so this was big. Dortmund had a penalty which wasn't given, and later Bayern got given a penalty which was questionable to say the least. This allowed Bayern to win the game 3-2. After the game, Bellingham didn't hold back and went off on the referee, making references to a match-fixing scandal the referee was previously involved in. This led the German Football Association to fine Jude $40,000 for questioning the referee's credibility. So the next time something like this happened with referees, Bellingham kept his mouth shut.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I've paid enough to them lot, so...
If the referees can't be called out anymore, then all sorts of cheating is gonna happen. This has to change. But if you want to see the craziest cheating moments in football, you have to check out this video now.